Skin Hardaway 70. Back with another EP. And it's an open discussion EP, open panel EP. Today we here to, not necessarily talk about the weekend, recap, but something that Dimitri Bivol said over the weekend. I'm not sure whether he said this in the post-fight press conference or maybe he said this shit in the interview the next day. But Dimitri Bivol has stated that he did want. Dimitri Bivol stated that he did want a rematch. Dimitri Bivol stated that he did want a rematch with Canelo Alvarez, but he want the rematch with Canelo Alvarez to be at 168 pounds. You know what I mean? And he said that they got me to thinking. Bivol is trying to completely get Canelo, you know what I mean, out of the game. He trying to completely take Canelo out the game, man. Another loss to Canelo Alvarez. Another loss for Canelo Alvarez to Dimitri Bivol. I think that'll be detrimental. It'll almost be a career suicide. You know what I mean? Just being perfectly honest about it, it'll almost be a career suicide for Canelo Alvarez if he was to lose to Dimitri Bivol. And then I think even more on Dimitri Bivol, I completely misjudged this Dimitri Bivol dude. Santi, what you mean you completely misjudged Dimitri Bivol? I completely misjudged Dimitri Bivol. Dimitri Bivol has since this fight had happened and everything's been happening on the press conference, the interviews, and press conferences and interviews and all that good shit. I've been listening to Dimitri Bivol tone and everything. All right, okay. And Dimitri Bivol is a killer, man. Like Dimitri Bivol is a killer at heart. You know what I mean? He's a killer. He was interviewing him. That was giving a pre-fight interview. What's good, Andre? Peter, you sliding through this, John, Andre. That was giving him a pre-fight interview, right? Right? Was before the fight with Canelo Alvarez. And they asked Bivol a question. And Bivol was like, I don't think Canelo Alvarez is that special. You know what I mean? And when he said it, let me make sure I turn my head. Did y'all get asked when y'all did y'all get asked when y'all came in? Did y'all get asked when y'all came in? Pretty y'all sliding through. But yeah, they asked Dimitri Bivol what he thought about Canelo. He said, I don't think Canelo all that. And then at the final press conference, they asked Dimitri Bivol a question. Dimitri Bivol said, hold on for a second. He was like, man, why y'all booing me? He stopped and he asked the crowd, why are y'all booing me? You know what I mean? And then after the fight press conference, Dimitri Bivol said, surprisingly, his power, wasn't really all that. He said, surprisingly, his power, ain't affect me as much as I thought it would. You know what I mean? So I've been sitting here listening to Dimitri Bivol lately. I was completely wrong. I completely misjudged this Dimitri Bivol guy. I thought I thought Dimitri Bivol. I thought Dimitri Bivol, I thought Dimitri Bivol was, like a little subtle dude, but Dimitri Bivol at heart, Dimitri Bivol is a killer, bro. Like that man is straight up a killer. And now on top of that, right? Last but not least, last but not least, he said that he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. So not only does he want to fight, Canelo Alvarez again. He said he's open to the he said that he open, to the immediate rematch. But he said I'd rather fight him at 168 at the 168-pound division because they give me, a chance to win undisputed. And I always wanted to win undisputed. Man, how much of a savage dude Demetrius? I'm finna bring my camera up in a second because I got time today. We finna cook. We finna cook. The man, I'm finna bring my camera up now. We finna cook. Me and Andre in this motherfucker. Me and Andre, we finna cook in this bitch. Yeah, so I Demetrius Bivol said, yeah, I do want to fight him again. And not only do I want to fight him again, but this time when I fight him, I want to fight him. I want to fight him at 168 because I always wanted undisputed, and undisputed is a goal of mine that I want to do. So this man has basically said he has shown me on more than enough times since this Canelo Alvarez situation that man is really a dog. And that man said that he'll fight him again, but this time I'm gonna have to be the A side. You know what I mean? I'll fight him, but it's gonna be under different circumstances. I took what I was supposed to take, the first time in the fight, but this time is gonna be, a different story. You know what I mean? Something's gonna have to give. He's gonna have Canelo Alvarez is gonna have to give up, a little more than he did the first time. So not only was good. What's good, Andre? Avery Hill, Big Slugger. Not only did he say that he want to fight Canelo Alvarez again, not only did he say I'll fight you again, he said this time it got to be at 168. So when I win, I get your belts at 168 pounds. You know what I mean? Dimitri Bivol. This my guy Just Do and my guy Dwayne Freeman, had said something. They said, this is a cherry pick. This was a cherry pick gone wrong. What I be saying about Canelo Alvarez is that Canelo Alvarez moves like a bullet. What you mean, Southern T? He moves like a bullet. What you mean? What you mean, Southern T? Canelo move like a bullet. I feel like Canelo seek fighters. Hold on, y'all. Let me get right, man. Let me get right, y'all. Okay. I feel like that Canelo Alvarez, he seek fighters. Canelo Alvarez seek fighters, not necessarily, who want to fight him. Like he don't necessarily fight the guys that want to fight him, or he don't necessarily fight the guys, who hitting at him. He fights the guys that he choose to fight. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that to say I feel like that Canelo Alvarez fight guys, that he want to fight, not necessarily guys, who want to fight him. You know what I mean? He don't necessarily fight guys who go in that ring, with the intent to hurt him. You know what I mean? He not necessarily going there. He not picking guys with the intent to hurt him. He go around and he pick guys, that he feel fit, that he feel is a good matchup. You know what I mean? For him, what's good, Court? What's good, Court? Appreciate you sliding through. You know what I mean? He might pick a guy, he know that'll fight him. He might pick a guy he know that'll fight him to take a payday. You know what I mean? Most people are not going to turn down the payday that Canelo Alvarez, bring him. So by that, he knows most guys are not going to turn down the payday that Canelo Alvarez bring them. So by that, some of these fighters get in the ring with him, even though they don't necessarily think that they'll win the fight, even though they didn't necessarily have Canelo Alvarez, on their radar. But nobody's going to turn down, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million. Ain't nobody going to turn down, the bad, because this is the thing with boxing. That it's all about becoming, one of the greatest ever. True, but it's also about becoming a prize fighter. And in today's day and age, it get misconstrued a lot. In today's day and age, it get misconstrued a lot on what's what. You know what I mean? But a lot of these guys to take that bag, if you pay a dude enough, win, lose, or draw. If you pay a dude enough, win, lose, or draw, he'll step in there and he'll fight a guy. You know what I mean? I think Canelo Alvarez in this fight, he was trying to pick Dimitri Bivol. I think he was trying to catch, Dimitri Bivol slipping back. Shout out my guy Corey Sanders, hipping your boy, pay them bills. Corey Sanders said, "Keep grinding, King." Oh yeah, I'm cooking today, Corey. I'm cooking today. You know what I mean? I think he thought that Bivol would just be happy. I think that he thought Dimitri Bivol would be happy with just, being inside of the ring with him. I think that he thought Dimitri Bivol would be happy with just getting the opportunity to fight Canelo. I think that he thought Dimitri Bivol would come in and, he would kind of fold under the pressure, fold to the fact that he was fighting Canelo. I think that he thought that Dimitri Bivol would kind of fold to the moment. What's good? Shout out my guy DP Rocker. Appreciate you sliding through this, young DP Rocker. My guy E Ortiz. My guy Phil Barrett. Appreciate y'all folks. Glad y'all good folks can make it. Y'all do your boy a favor when y'all come in and hit that like button for your boy. You know what I mean? So I think when he stepped in the ring in front of Bivol, he thought that Bivol would crumble. And I got to apologize to Bivol, because I underestimated Bivol. I underestimated Bivol tremendously, you know what I mean, in this fight type deal. I ain't gonna necessarily, for the lack of a better word, I thought Bivol was pussy. And Bivol really savage. You know what I mean? Bivol is savage, bro. So I think it's cool that Bivol want to fight Canelo, and I think that it's even more savage that Bivol want to fight Canelo again at 168. This man freely volunteered this info to us, man. This man said, I'll fight him again, but it's going to be at 168 because I always wanted to get an undisputed championship. This man is so confident that he going to beat what some people This man is so confident that he gonna beat what some people call the pound for pound number one boxer, what some people call, the best fighter in the world, who a lot of people, before Saturday, right? A lot of people before Saturday was comparing Canelo Alvarez to, Muhammad Ali, to Sugar Ray Robinson, to Sugar Ray Leonard, to all of the greats, of our pastime, all the greats of our pastime. I saw posters, I saw media people. A lot of those media people gone now. A lot of their tones are different. But I saw a lot of people, comparing Canelo Alvarez, to the greats of our, pastime, which I thought was a little too prematurely. So I think over the weekend, I'm thanking Dimitri Bivol, because over the weekend, Dimitri Bivol kind of came back and he put boxing back into the right perspective. He put boxing back into the right place. He really, I feel like he put, and Canelo is not a hype train. I never call Canelo a hype train because he is talented. But what Dimitri Bivol came back today, this weekend that he did was he came back and he put boxing back, where it was supposed to be. And some people call me a Canelo hater, and you know what, I take that. I take that. Some people call me a Canelo hater, but I said when Canelo lost, I said that it was, the best thing, that could have happened for boxing, because it's going to make people, it's a term people like to use, chase Canelo. I don't like the term. Truthfully, because I don't think you could chase a champion. A champion is supposed to fight the top contenders, right? Which is why he's a champion. So I don't think that you could chase, champions. But people like to say people are chasing Canelo. So this right here is going to put an end to all of that, quote unquote, chasing Canelo. And let's say Dimitri Bivol and Canelo Alvarez do fight again. That's also, and let's say that Canelo Alvarez lose to Dimitri Bivol twice. You know what I mean? I feel like that's go put an end to this, chasing Canelo and whatnot. You know what I mean? E. Ortiz said actually makes sense. If he beats Canelo at 68, there are better money fights for him 68 than 75. You get Benavidez, Charlo, Ward. I don't know about Ward, but yeah, you know what I mean. So he said he want to fight him at 168. So I think if Bivol was to fight Canelo at 168 and beat him at 168, that will put an end to Canelo. That will put an end to Canelo. Completely. And I'm not saying that that he can't recover, because he can recover, but it'll be extremely hard for him to ever get back to where he once was if he lose to Bivol twice. Now, you know what I mean? I had said now I've been saying that, jokingly, I've been saying that, Canelo did. Truthfully, no, he not dead. But if he fight Bivol at 168 and he lose, then he most definitely, his career most definitely will be dead, especially how he, especially what it is today. Let me say what's up to my people that came in the building real quick first. Let me say what's up. Let me run y'all down. Shout out my guy Andre coming through this jump. Appreciate you sliding through. My guy Avery here was good. Big Slugger was good, folks. Corey Sanders, appreciate you sliding through this jump. Glad you can make it. DP Rocker was good. Appreciate you sliding through this jump. E. Ortiz, appreciate y'all sliding through this jump, was good. Okay, DP. Johnny Q was good, pimp. Glad you could make it. Shout out my guy T20. Was good, T20. Glad you can make it. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit that like button when y'all roll on in for your boy. Hit that like button. But hell yeah. So but yeah, if he was to lose to Dimitri Bivol at 168, that most definitely probably would be the end of Canelo's career. As we know it, it'll be the end of his reign, of calling the shots and being the cash cow. That mythical being feeling, that surrounded Canelo before this, that the fans, wanted to put on, that he was like, Ali and Floyd and all those people, that's already gone. Now he still got a chance to be the cash cow. He still can be the cash cow in boxing right now with a victory over Dimitri Bivol in a rematch. And if Dimitri Bivol is talking about coming down to 168, there's nothing that, Canelo Alvarez can do anyway but fight Dimitri Bivol. And that's why I'm going to give Dimitri Bivol some credit. Because if you really look at it, the moves that Dimitri Bivol is making, he's pinning Canelo Alvarez into a corner. He's backing Canelo Alvarez into a corner. You know what I mean? Because I personally don't. The night after the night of the fight, Canelo Alvarez said, "I'll fight Dimitri Bivol again, but it'll have to be at 168." And then the next day, Canelo Alvarez said, "I'm going back down to 168." And then Dimitri Bivol said the next day, "Well, if I fight Canelo Alvarez, it'll have to be at 168 because, they're waiting out hard for me to make it. I only cut 20 pounds, and I feel like I could do it. I always wanted to be undisputed." I don't think that Canelo Alvarez is really trying to fight Dimitri Bivol again. You know what I mean? But I think that he have to. I think he's in the position to where he has to fight Dimitri Bivol again. So he has to fight to save face. You know what I mean? But if let's say he fight me at 168 and he lose, now Dimitri Bivol then beat Canelo Alvarez at 175 for Dimitri Bivol belt, and he didn't beat Canelo Alvarez at 168 for undisputed in the 168-pound division. And I think, kind of like my guy E. Ortiz said, you know what I mean? I think that's the best thing, that could happen. The reason I say, people call me a hater for it, but the reason I say Canelo losing is the best thing for boxing because that'll cause a domino effect. And I think that basically will just put everything back the way it's supposed to be. Because if Dimitri Bivol win the undisputed championship, what's good on commentary? Shout out my guy St. Louis Meats on commentary sliding through this junk. Appreciate you sliding through this junk. Like my guy St. Louis said, y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit that like button when y'all roll on in. Hit that like button when y'all roll on in. Greatly appreciate it. But yeah, that'll cause a domino effect. Because if Dimitri Bivol win undisputed at 168 pounds, that means he gonna stay at 168 pounds. You know what I mean? And what have we been asking for from Canelo Alvarez, since he been at 168 pounds, since he been at 160 pounds? You know what I mean? We've been asking him, to fight the best guys, in and around his division. If you look at the 168-pound division, yes, Canelo did beat a few guys at 168, but he didn't beat the best guys at 168. He beat Caleb Plant, one of the best guys at 168. But David Benavidez is still chilling, sitting around at 168. You know what I mean? You got Demetrius Andrade, who's sitting up there, at 168, or Zach Parker, depending on, how that fight go. You got Jamal Charlo, who a lot of people, consider a 168-pounder, but he's really not. He's a 160-pounder. But, for a Canelo fight or a guy that beat Canelo, Dimitri Bivol, I'm pretty sure, Jamal Charlo will come up and he will, make that fight to fight Dimitri Bivol. I think Dimitri Bivol, this is what I'm saying on the whole, Dimitri Bivol winning will give us, what we've wanted the whole time. It'll give us a chance to see, the best fight the best. I could see Dimitri Bivol versus Boo Boo, or Dimitri Bivol versus Jamal Charlo, or Dimitri Bivol versus David Benavidez. I don't see Dimitri Bivol being hesitant or skeptical or moving around or telling these guys to fight each other or telling this guy to fight that guy. I don't see him doing that at all. If he was to go down there to 168 pounds and beat Canelo Alvarez, I truthfully think that that's the best thing for boxing. For a guy like Dimitri Bivol, to win the straps. Because Dimitri Bivol, and now I ain't gonna say no shot at Canelo, because this is a shot at Canelo. Because this was my only problem with Canelo. You know what I mean? Just the way he was moving, type deal. My shit froze up. Okay, boom. Okay, I'm back now. Yeah, I ain't just, I don't know what the fuck YouTube on, but I'm cooking. I'm gonna keep going. Fuck it. You know what? Fuck. I guess I'm talking too bad about Canelo. I'm telling the truth and shit. We back. Y'all hear me? But yeah. I don't give a damn if hold on. But yeah, okay, yeah, I'm back. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If y'all ain't subscribed to the channel, I don't know what the hell they got going on. But it is what it is. I'm in this motherfucker. But yeah, I ain't just out here, laughing and shit. I'm not enjoying this shit. I'm not enjoying this shit, for no reason. I'm a fan of boxing. I'm a fan of the sport first. I'm not just a fan of the fight. The only reason me and you wouldn't get along, the only reason we wouldn't get along is if, you're a fan of a fighter before you're a fan of the sport. Yes, I have my favorite fighters. Yes, I have my picks. Just like everybody else, just like anybody else out here, right? Yeah, I got my picks. But boxing first. I'm boxing first. You know what I mean? Uh if my favorite fighters move funny, I'm gonna get on their ass, just as well. None of my favorite fighters got into a position of power and abused it. Canelo Alvarez was literally at the top of the sport. There's not many guys you could say who Deontay Wilder, Deontay Wilder and Canelo Alvarez and AJ sit in the room, by themselves. And then you got Earl Spence, Tank Davis, and guys like that. Those are your stars in boxing. Basically, it's only about 5 of them. Those are your stars in boxing, right? Type deal. You got Canelo sitting in the room basically by himself. It's just Canelo, AJ, and Deontay Wilder sitting in this room. And you got this one guy at the top abusing it. You can say what you want to. Deontay Wilder tried to fight everybody. He couldn't. And he still put on exciting fights. Now, AJ didn't fight Wilder, but AJ did fight everybody else. You know what I mean? You got these 3 people sitting in the room, AJ Wilder and Canelo, and you only got one of them moving funny, and Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? You got 3 people sitting at the top, and you got one moving funny. So, Phil J, what's good, pimp? Appreciate you sliding through this, John Phil J. Shout out my guy, Phil J, sliding through this, John. What's good, Phil J? Do your boy a favor when y'all roll on in. Hit that like button for your boy. Glad you could make it. My guy, Johnny Q, said, T, who you think will win, Bivol or Boo Boo? I ain't sure. That'll be a high-class boxing match. I ain't sure. Let me tell you, hold on. We finna talk, but let me find my clip back up. I tell you this, Johnny. The same way that Bivol beat Canelo, that's the way I expected Demetrius Andrade to beat Canelo. But after seeing that fight with Bivol and Canelo, I think Demetrius Andrade would have stopped Canelo. You know what I mean? Demetrius Andrade would have hit the gas on him. Demetrius Andrade would have hit the gas on him. You know what I mean? So in the same instant, where I saw that, I think Boo Boo would have stopped Canelo. I was just saying that Bivol fight. But Bivol versus Andrade, my first mind, I say Boo Boo because I think it's gonna be a boxing match, and I think Boo Boo the better boxer. So I say Boo Boo. I think it's gonna be a boxing match. I say Boo Boo. No. Nah, sit down. Go. Yeah. I say Boo Boo the better boxer. You know what I mean? So I take Boo Boo over Bivol, but I love to see it. You know what I mean? And when I say that shit, Canelo should lose these fights, it's not because I'm a Canelo hater, because Canelo Alvarez is not gonna fight these dudes, bro. We finally got a chance to get some moving and shaking at 168. Don't y'all want to see Bivol versus Benavidez? We've been hollering for Charlo and Benavidez for how long? For how long? That shit is never going to happen as long as Canelo got them belts. But I tell you this, if Bivol get them belts, Bivol go fight one of them guys, and that's gonna start the domino effect of all them guys fighting. So out of Bivol, you know, fighting Canelo, let's say he fight at 168 and he beat him, we gonna get all these fights that we want eventually. Bivol fuck around and clean everybody out. Bro, Bivol might jump down there and he might clean everybody out. You know what I mean? I want to see Bivol finish the job at 75. Don't run from Beterbiev. I don't know. Either I don't think could have taken them shots. I don't know. No do. I mean, if he go jump on this Canelo beating, now go on let him jump on the Canelo beating. No, not go on let him jump on the Canelo beating. You know, if we was E Ortiz, if they was giving you know, Canelo a pass to get undisputed in 2 divisions, go on let Bivol do it. I do you one better, Ortiz. I mean not Ortiz, Phil J. I do you one better, Phil J. Fuck it. Let Bivol fight Canelo. He beat Canelo the second time. Then let him fight Beterbiev and Joe Smith winner. Type shit like that. And then the winner of that, go down to 168 and fight them dudes. You know what I mean? Go down one, because the better competition is at 168, not 175. So the winner of 175 and 168, they need to see each other anyway. They need to see each other anyway. You know what I mean? Bivol said he naturally 168 pound, Johnny Q. He said naturally I'm 168 pounds. You know, Bivol said he walking around 180 pounds. Bivol said he walk around 180 pounds. Bivol ain't that big a dude. He really ain't that big a dude. You know what I mean? I want him to win. I want him to fight Canelo again. I either want Canelo to fight him again, but at this point, Canelo ain't got no choice but to fight him again, because even if he go to 168, Bivol already put on the table that he want the next fight, the next fight to be at 168. So even if Canelo go back down to 168, Bivol want to smoke at 168. Bivol want his shot at undisputed. You know what I mean? So with that being said, the best fights are going to be at, you know what I'm saying, 168. The best fights going to be at 168, man. You know what I mean? So they can go and take the beans back down to 168. In the back of my mind, I think Canelo trying to get away from Dimitri Bivol, but I think Dimitri Bivol about to follow him on back down. I think Bivol about to follow him on back down. You know what I mean? I think Bivol about to follow him on back down. So we go get that fight. And I think Bivol trying to put an end to Canelo. I'm trying to tell y'all Canelo fans, y'all should be worried. Y'all most definitely should be worried. What's good? Them say was my guy Tony Bell. Appreciate you sliding through this, John Tony Bell. Glad you could make it, pimp. Appreciate you sliding through this, John. My John Detroit, BC. Glad y'all can make it. Can y'all do your boy a favor when y'all come on in? Hit that like button when y'all come on in. Subscribe to the channel if y'all ain't subscribed to the channel. What's good, Yoda Crush? Appreciate you sliding through this, John. Yoda Crush. My co-host, Yoda Crush. What's good, pimp? Glad you could make it. Yo, I really think Bivol is on the mission to put an end to Canelo Alvarez ever so subtly. He ain't gonna say it, you know what I mean? But this week I learned that about Bivol. Bivol ain't gonna say too much. But that dude is a silent killer. When that dude speaks, bro, that man means what he say. That dude is a killer, bro. and ever so it took me to after the fight to really realize it. But in the moment when he said it, ever so subtly, he said certain things during this press conference that let me know that this dude was kind of different. You know what I mean? This dude asked these people, they asked him a question. This dude said, I don't think, Canelo is all that. I think he's just another boxer. And then the interviewer asked him another question. Bivol said, hold on for a second. And then he asked the crowd, he said, why y'all hate me? He was like, why y'all booing me? Why y'all hate me? What y'all booing me for? Like that. You know what I mean? And he said it with a smile and shit, but I was like, nah, that man is serious. That man is savage. Like, that man is aware of everything that's going on. That dude know what he doing. That dude said, yeah, I want to fight him at 168 because I always wanted to be an undisputed champion. Bro, that man is about to beat the fuck out of Canelo, bro. That man is about to put an end to the Canelo fan base. He about to put an end to Canelo. If he got something to do with it, I tell you this. Y'all been talking about Canelo being the cash cow. Y'all been talking about Canelo being the god. Y'all been talking about Canelo being the face of boxing. Well, I tell you this. This Dimitri Bivol dude about to prove all that shit right or wrong. Because if they fight again, which I think they gonna have to, I think they gonna have to fight again. You know what I mean? So if they fight again and Bivol beat his ass, and they don't give Canelo, their fight, they don't rob Bivol and give Canelo the fight anyway, and Canelo beat Bivol again, y'all Canelo fans, y'all gonna have to find a new favorite fighter, which you should never throw your favorite fighter away. So let me tell you what you should do. What y'all gonna have to do is y'all gonna have to come on down up off that high horse. That's what y'all gonna have to do. Y'all gonna have to come on down up off that high horse and judge him, for what he is, and not as some mythical creature, some mythical being. That's what y'all have to do. Because if Dimitri Bivol is able to beat him at 168 for his undisputed belts, what is Canelo going to do? Go back up to 175? But Turviev up there. Bivol still going to be up there. What he going to do? Stay at 168? He ran from the people at 168 to go up to fight Dimitri Bivol and lost Dimitri Bivol. And now everybody's saying he just going back down to 168 like that's just the magic answer to the magic question when he was there at first and didn't want to fight the guys at 168. So he still got to fight somebody. Canelo has entered the stage of his career where he can't go nowhere else. He can't go nowhere else. He got to fight these guys, bro. And right now, for fighting the elite, for fighting the best of the best in the divisions, he 1-1. He 1-1. Caleb Plant is his win. Dimitri Bivol is his loss. Billy Joe came up, from 160. He looked hot. Shut up. No. Billy Joe came up from 160. He looked horrible in his fight before Canelo fought him. I give him credit for Billy Joe, but I can't give him elite credit for Billy Joe. I can't give him top tier credit for Billy Joe. You know what I mean? He get credit for Billy Joe, but he don't get an A for Billy Joe. He get an A for Plant. He get an A for Bivol. He 1-1 in his fights against elite fighters. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So he's at a point where he don't got nothing to fight but the elite fighters of today. He got to fight Caleb Plant. He got to fight Bivol. He got to fight Beterbiev. He got to fight Zerdo. He got to fight Benavidez. He got to fight Andrade. He got to fight Morrell Jr. If Charlo decide to come up for 160, he got to fight a Charlo. He got to fight somebody. There are no more easy fights. This is bite down time. This is bite down. Canelo is not 36. He is 32 years old. Where the hell you been, checkmate? Canelo is not 36. He's 32 years old. He ain't no spring ticket, but he ain't no old nigga either. This is his prime. He got to fight prime people. Do I need to tell y'all the people that Flo was fighting at 32? People forget Flo fought Canelo when he was 36. Talk your ass off. Canelo wasn't fighting string beans at 32. He was fighting them guys. You got to fight them guys, my boy. Ain't nowhere left to go. You got to fight them guys, my boy. What's good, chick, man? What you got on?
What's going on, my brother? Hey, God, can you hear me?
Yeah. It was good, pal.
Oh, because it looked like his Okay, I thought I lost my connection.
He said TB.
Um, hey, I'm loving the green screen. I'm loving it. Remember, I'm loving the green screen. I'm glad you got that. Um,
Now I ain't got no
but yeah,
green screen. Virtual jump.
that's what I'm saying. That's what the green screen is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but yeah, so Canelo is definitely backed in the corner. You know what I mean? He, pretty much ran like he was in a track meet, running away from 160, 168. Even to keep in mind, even his undisputed run, it was cheap, right? Because David Benavidez was the number one, right? So he fought for David Benavidez' vacant belt versus a sitting champion in Callum Smith. That should never have been allowed to happen. How are you going to call yourself the best, but duck the best? You know what I mean? So to me, you only fought three, mild champions at 168. You know what I mean? And you call yourself the greatest, and all of a sudden, I actually picked Bivol. You know what I mean? I was saying on Twitter all the time, I was saying that Bivol was going to beat him. Bivol's quicker. You know what I mean? He's faster. He has better footwork. You know what I mean? His defense is solid. And Canelo just comes prodding. He depends on his power. When Bivol comes in, you know what I mean? He has that ring generalship and that IQ that Canelo.
OTB was good. OTB, my bad, pimp.
Yeah. So like I said, I had picked Bivol to win. So I'm not surprised. He shocked the world, but he didn't shock me. I think Canelo was kind of exposed for what he does. He depends on power, and he depends on intimidating fighters. So a lot of these fighters feel like they lose as soon as they walk in the ring with him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Bivol took his best and dished out even better. So
Bivol put their pressure on Canelo. Canelo. This is what I gotta say. Y'all know I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna give him. This probably my last day giving it to him, but y'all know I gotta give it to him. Canelo said something to Ryan Garcia that he don't be in the gym, that he not dedicated, that he don't, he be playing around. I saw Canelo Alvarez get tired very, very quickly in this fight. I saw Canelo Alvarez not be able to stick with a game plan. I don't even think he had a game plan. What was the game plan in this fight? That's why I want to ask Reynoso and Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? I'm seeing him be at every fight. You know what I mean? I'm seeing him talk about this fighter, talk about that fighter. And then when his fight come, he went in there, he laid an egg. Now, if this was anybody else, what y'all think the drawback, the kickback would be on this? You know what I mean? We didn't see him at every single fight. We didn't see him at this fight, see him at that fight, see him at this fight, see him at that fight. Right? Then he go at his fight and lay an egg. He got all this to say about Ryan Garcia, all this to say about Andy Ruiz. You know what I mean? And then he go out there, he lose his fight.
Well, all I gotta say about that is boxing.
I think and then I watch his training videos. All I see is him practicing on that fucking bubble bag in the heavy bag. You know what I mean? I don't see him doing fucking boxing drills. I see him sparring. That sparring footage that I seen of him throughout the weeks and months and shit, he fought just like that. It looked just like that at the same pace and everything. The way he was swinging at it and everything. All power shots, walking straight forward, all that shit. The difference is this dude didn't lay down like the punching bag or them punching bags you was fighting before this. The Plant did damn good against you, you know what I mean? He moved a little too much. This guy ain't running away from you. You know what I mean? You got to expose. I think him being this hard working, all that shit is a myth. That's what I think. I think it's a myth, bro. Because everything that I seen him do in the gym, it came out in that fight. And I don't mean that in a good way. You know what I mean? Everything I seen him do in the gym leading up to this shit, I saw it in the fight and not in a good way.
Think about this. When Canelo throw his shots, he's throwing it like he's chopping a tree down. He's always putting all his 100% torque and power into those shots. That's going to drain you. There's no way you can sustain that. And that is the reason why he did get tired early, because his whole thing, if you notice, most of his punches were arm punches. Strategically, that's what he wanted to do. I'm going to punch his arms off. But guess what? Those aren't scoring punches. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, even you would see Bivol counter. Even after Canelo punched him in his arm, Bivol would counter and land some great shots on him.
Wow, he punched him.
Yeah, so exactly. And Canelo is not used to that. He's used to people being intimidated, laying on the rope, shelling up, and getting free swings. That's what he's been used to. That's what you guys built this guy up to think that he's
Y'all
still
hit
number
that
one.
like, y'all hit
He's
that
number
like button
one.
for your boy when y'all roll on in. Hit that like button for your boy when you roll on in. I got 24 people in here, 23 likes. Y'all get your boy to 30 likes. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through. We got the great checkmate up here. We got Shelton Moore. What's good, brother? Shelton Moore. Y'all hit that like button for your boy when y'all slide on.
How you feeling, brothers? How's everything going today?
I'm feeling
What's
nice,
going
man.
on,
I'm
my
feeling
brother?
nice.
Now, T, you remember we was online talking when this fight got signed. What's the first thing I told you?
Bivol go whoop his ass.
You remember why?
Nah, I forgot why you said it.
Because the motherfucker's too little, man. He's too small to be at 175. He's 5'7" tall. You keep putting on that weight, you get to 175 at 5'7". Now you're slow, you gassing, because you can't carry that type of weight. Them dudes is too big up there. Look at the guys that's at the top of that division. You got Zerto Ramirez, he's 6'3". You got Joe Smith, he's 6'2". You got Beterbiev and Bivol, both 6 feet, 6'1". Now, just by the laws of physics, I want you to tell me who he gonna be.
I'm with you, my brother. So everything you said, I agree.
He was gonna beat Bivol. He thought he was gonna beat Bivol, Shelton.
Well, I told you B-Ball was gonna whoop his ass. I've been watching B-Ball since he was on HBO back in 14, 15. B-Ball can fucking fight, man. Yeah. As you saw Saturday night, that motherfucker can box. Great movement, good power, boxing IQ off the charts. And he wasn't, I said this over and over, he was not intimidated by that little guy.
But these people, again, they built Canelo up to be unstoppable, this, that. And now they say, oh, he's going up the cruiserweight. Oh, he's going to fight Usyk, for heavyweight at 1 pound over the cruiser and all this other stuff, right? Or at 201, whatever the case may be, right? So they're making all these excuses, and now they're saying that he can do all of these things because he thought Bivol was the easiest of the 175 fighters. He said, you know what I mean? Because they look at Beterbiev if he's strong. I always said Bivol was the better fighter, overall fighter than Beterbiev. He's going.
I always had Bivol over Beterbiev.
Absolutely, the Beterbiev, he's strong. He's a lumberjack, but he's awkward. He's really could be slow. You know what I mean? He's been down before, so I'm not intimidated by his power when it comes to skill, especially the way Bivol moves in and out. And one thing Bivol said, he trained for Canelo to punch his arms. He said that's the only place he was hurt. He said he didn't even feel. He said that power is good. He said, but he don't hit like, you know what I mean, a light heavyweight. He don't punch like that. He don't have that natural strength. He said he was throwing everything he had into it. He said that was his mistake. He threw every shot hard, and which again wore him out. So I knew he was going. I picked Bivol to win. People thought I was crazy. They said I was hating. I said no. Styles make fights. And
hey,
and
brother,
the result.
I'm with you. I'm $600. I'm $600 crazy.
Yeah. So, but they're making excuses. Oh, he dared to be great, but didn't he dare to be great when he fought old drunkard Kovalev off a short turnaround?
Oh, excuse me.
At 175?
Right there. And I said this a couple of weeks ago. I'm gonna say it one more time. The worst thing that ever happened to Alvarez was beating drunk ass Kovalev, because that made him believe he was a lot better than he really is.
Listen, brother, that MBF, if you look at these people pound for pound list, that MBF is crazy. Let me tell you why the MBF is so crazy. Right now, you have potentially Devin Haney. I'm picking Devin Haney to win that undisputed. You got, you're going to have, so that's going to be one. You got Earl and Bud, that's going to be two. You got Shakur, if they allow him to get those fights, that'll be three. You got Charlo. I believe he's going to knock out Castaño this time. That's four. So you got, and then you got who else? Well, Big Charlo. They're going to be playing keep away from him. But my point is, you're going to have all these Black American fighters for pound, with these undisputeds, but you don't see them in your pound for pound list. But yet they'll put a Canelo you know what I mean, who's gerrymandered his way, you know what I mean, to glory. You cannot duck your way to glory. You cannot say, okay, pick and choose. I'm going to only fight 2 fighters at 160. Canelo has never cleared out a division. Even when it comes to 168, he fought for David Benavidez, who was the number 1 at 168, the most talented guy at 168. He fought for his vacant belt versus a sitting champion in a big giant lump log named Callum. I didn't give him respect for that.
But look,
You know
let's
what I
be
mean?
honest though. We gotta call a spade on that one. I'm with you.
All right,
It's
Taylor,
not
what's good?
Canelo Alvarez's fault that this motherfucker lost his belt first time for cocaine, second time on the scale. That's not his fault.
I agree.
That's it,
I 100% agree. My issue is that he fought for the vacant versus the sitting champ. Okay, that vacant belt,
That's
2
it,
people
yo.
should have fought for that belt. What'd you say?
No. I was talking, yo. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So you know, the number 1 and number 2 should have fought for that vacant belt. How are you? This is the same thing Loma did. This is the same thing Loma did when he fought for the vacant WBC versus Luke Campbell. Is that really the measure of greatness? Your fight to try to get to cheapen your route to undisputed. You know what I mean? So think about this. Both of those original, actually, all of the what's that? The franchise champions. All of the franchise champions have lost. Okay, trying to cheapen their way to greatness. You know. So listen, Canelo's a good fighter. Never, you know, I'm not going to ever take that away from him, but he's never, ever, ever proven himself to be the best. And like I said, I could respect him for the skills he has, but I'm not going to place him on a pedestal he never deserved. You know, you can't duck your way. And one of the most egregious things, besides failing for the PEDs and being banned for that, one of the most egregious things is ducking Andrade for 160 undisputed, saying that he's a boring fighter. But yet you can fight a Callum Smith who's super boring. You can fight a Rocky Fielding who's super boring. You can fight a Yildirim who's super boring. You know what I mean? So you can't use that as an excuse.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Ducking Andre, you can't get around that. There's no way to explain that. You say you the best. You say you number 1 pound for pound. I was born ready. Okay, then why you duck that guy at 54 and 68? At 60, 54 and 60. Why you duck him twice? He's the guy. He got the belt. If you the champ and you want to prove you the best, you fight the guys who got the belts to prove it. Don't skip around.
King of the Hill shit.
Yeah, King of the Hill shit. You think? Let me ask you something, brother. I don't know how old you are, but I'm gonna ask you this. You think Marvin Hagler would have let anybody get away if he was fighting today?
Nobody back then would do that, brother. This is some new generation stuff. This is Bob Arum started this when he started.
This some Canelo stuff. Why we trying to tell people it's just this dude. It's this dude's fault. It's his fault. He the only one to do it. The rest of the bit, I was just saying like the rest of
new stuff, man.
The rest of the top now, AJ Duck Wilder, right? But outside of that, the rest, everybody else at the top fighting everybody. Canelo is the only one that move like this. It's Canelo. And the fruit a little more, them, like you said, the fruit a little more Bob Arum guys. But outside of a couple bad seeds, bro.
That's because Bob Arum created that NBF list, the no black fighter list. So therefore, he strategically moved away from black American fighters, he thought was too good for his fighters. He strategically promised Bud a Pacquiao fight, but then killed the fight. You know what I mean? He said himself, I didn't want Pacquiao to get hurt, so I killed that fight. But yet he's still promising. So they've been doing it. He tried to do that for Shakur. You notice during the Shakur fight, he didn't even take part in that press conference. He left the stage before then. You know what I mean? But now he's telling Shakur he don't want him to. Nobody who needs to go for those fights. That's not going to draw anything to go for these. The unified. Nobody cares about Undisputed, but yet you're about to go ahead. You're about to promote Undisputed between Devin Haney and Kambosos. You was promoting Loma as being the next Undisputed. You just had Josh Taylor as Undisputed, but when it comes to this Black American kid, you know what I mean, Shakur, you don't want him to go for undisputed 130. I mean, that's ridiculous, and it's racism all around that, my brother. And so I said all that to say this. Canelo has benefited from these matches, and people have been accepting him skipping these matches and ducking, and like he walking around a landmine to pick the path of least resistance. And I just can never, ever respect that. I'm just being honest.
Facts.
So let me ask y'all this. This is the only question I got now since all this shit shook out Saturday night. What does Golovkin do now?
What he's finna do at first, or retire, or how about fight somebody at 160 with a belt?
He's scared of Andre than Charlo, that's for sure. That's so sad. This is about legacy. This is my thing about legacy fights, okay? If you feel like you're great and you don't want to lose, you got to take that challenge. If you're the champion, you must take that challenge. If he said this is my last fight and I'm going to retire, I can understand him going out and say, okay, well, I'm not going to fight. This is my last fight, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm just going to fight one more fight. That's one thing. I can say, okay, you don't have to fight Charlo. You don't have to do this. But if you still call yourself champion, still saying you want to fight the best, there's no reason why you should ever feel like you need to duck these champions and not unify and go for undisputed. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn said that you had to join, that Charlo had to join the zone in order to get any of those top 160 fights. He said, there's no middleweight fights for you. None. Okay, and true to his word, he's blackballed Charlo, but then he questions his resume. Who have you fought? Name it. You haven't fought any champions. Well, if the zone got all the champions, but you hoarding them, and you know, then why are you asking that question when you know exactly what you're doing? They're trying to stall Charlo out and hoping he dropped the belt and move up to 168. Notice they don't do that to anybody else. You know, Black America fighters. Oh, he should move up. He should move up. He should move up. Trying to force him. No, allow him to maximize his potential at 160 and then move up. They seek saying, oh, fight David Benavidez. Well, David Benavidez don't have a belt. So why should he fight that fight for nothing on the line? It makes absolutely no sense. The reason being is they want him to go up there to fight the 6'3" Benavidez for nothing, but they want him to go in, you know, to go into the ring at disadvantages as height and weight and reach and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? But they're never calling any of those top 160 fighters. That's the sad part. Munguia turned down who else? The GGG turned him down, turned down Charlo. Everybody's Canelo turned him down. He's willing to fight anybody up there. You know, we know this thing about the Andre. That's a personal situation because he left the Charlo stranded before. So the thing is, as well as they trying to use Andre just to get Charlo to help him build his profile, just like they were using Tevin Farmer to try to lure Tank to the zone or whatever the case may be. So my thing is this: if they feed Andre one of those champions and Andre win, then I want that fight next. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Andre versus Charlo, but I don't want, you know, the zone to be kind of piggybacking, trying to ride that wave. No. You got all those fights over there, and yet you're stalling out your own 160 champion in Andre.
Yeah. He's about to let they're about to separate though. Andrade and Eddie. They're about to separate. This is his last fight on his contract.
He should. I mean, to me, he's kind of sabotaged his career. Then he's gonna say, "Oh, I can't get any good fights for him. I can't." Well, you got all of those fighters on your side. No, don't say you can't get them. You don't want to make them because you don't want this guy to, you know what I mean, to run through your stable. And then you got another Black American, you know what I mean, as for undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's, you know what I mean? So that was strategic. They basically sabotaged him the way Bob Arum sabotaged Bud. Because think about this. The best name on Bud's resume is Sean Porter. His last fight. That's it. That's his best person on his resume. Even when he fought for undisputed against Adongo and all of that, and you know, Poster was probably his second best win. But other than that, he is giving him trash fights the same way Eddie Hearn is giving Andre trash fights. They don't want to see the best fight the fight best. They don't want to see these boys shine. The cream is going to rise to the crop. It's going to rise to the top.
Yeah. Don't be on this done the hour. So let's get to the the back half. The back half of the topic. And I chose Jermell Charlo for a reason. I'm skinny. Why you ain't say Castano? Because I'm looking at Jermell Charlo resume. He done fought everybody who's anybody at 147 from the start of his career to the end of his career. So that's why it's Jermell Charlo and not Castano. The question is, if Jermell Charlo is to win against Brian Castano, this Saturday, is he the best guy ever at 164? If we're talking about totality body of work. And I personally think if we talking 154-pound division, it's not an original boxing division. It came in a little later. It was an add-on division. So, not a lot, people, really stake claim, to this division. It's one of the newer joints. But, there have been some guys in this joint. What's good, Alex? Appreciate you sliding through. I think he'll be the best 154 guy. The only people that I could think of, really, right, would be maybe Winky Wright. You know what I mean? 154 guy. Maybe James Toney, but he did more so with 160. When he went up to middle, he was more so 160. But the Winky Wright is the only other 154 guy that I thought of when I thought of, maybe a guy who I would say would be the best 154 pounder ever flew. Mayweather touched 154, but he ain't stay long. You know what I mean? On the back end of his career, He was 154, but more so people remember him like, 147, or if you go on prime, like 135, something like that type deal. But more so 147 for Floyd is where, people remember him most at.
Yeah, I don't consider Floyd a 154 fighter. He just went up there, took some belts, and that's it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think Jermell quite possibly would be the best guy at 154, maybe slightly edging out Winky Wright because he will have the undisputed claim to his name. You know what I mean? I think Jermell Charlo. Go ahead.
He would be the most accomplished for sure, and the first ever undisputed. So that's Hall of Fame material right there. Think about it. He has knocked out every belt he captured at 154 was by knockout. Okay, so when I'm predicting he's going to knock out, drainage, physical drainage, because he was so hyped for the last fight, making history, out partying. I just think, mentally he was drained. I think, he had a lot of anxiety about that. He was just pulled in so many different directions. You know what I mean? Taking in too much of the fun of the events. But my whole thing is, I think he's dedicated and focused this now. I saw him hurt Castano several times, and only time Castano ever even got off on him is when he laid on the ropes. So I'm just thinking that he's going to take it to. It's going to be a different fight this time. I'm expecting him to get the KO. I'm expecting him to beat Castano. Castano is good. He's a tough customer. Can't take anything away from him. But I just think Jermell Charlo is going to knock out his fourth 154 champ, and yes, be undisputed, and yes, he will be listed as the greatest 154-pound fighter. Like I said, I don't list Floyd because that's he just went for belt grabs.
Yeah.
That's just like trying to rank Roy Jones as heavyweight. He just went up there for a belt grab. He didn't camp out there. You know what I'm saying? So you and I think the same way. Relating to Floyd at 154.
Man, Alex Alberto G said Jermell will have a case with a win. I think Jermell will certainly punch his ticket to the Hall of Fame with a win, sir. Yeah, I do. And I really truly want to think of, a guy who mostly campaigned at 54. I know Trout campaigned there. Like, no, really, when you think of lifetime 154 guys, like people been there the longest, the lineage ain't that deep. It's more so recent guys, It might have started with Winky them, but that's really like what the 90s, still. You know what I mean? Those guys were 154, but a lot of those guys just touched it. Winky stayed there for a second. Bernard tiptoed through there. How long was Bernard at 54? Bernard maybe. But when we think of what was Bernard? Yeah, what's the best B-Hop? 160.
I would consider him because he didn't, at 64, he didn't really make his mark at 154. So I would consider him, pretty much his prime was middle.
Hagler fought at 60. I don't think he was 50. It was 54 when Hagler fought. It wasn't 54 when Hagler fought.
It wasn't even 54 round. Right.
Yeah, 54 came around like in the 90s, I think. or late 80s or
Yeah,
some shit like that.
they split that off from 160 and
Yeah,
made it a junior middleweight.
yeah. Yeah, 54 is a newer division. Only been around about 20, 30 years, some shit like that. Ain't been around probably longer than now because it's 2022, right? So maybe about 30 years, almost 40 years. So but it's kind of new. It ain't been here too long. That's why Winky jumps out at me because I know he did a lot there.
Yeah.
And I can't think of too many more people. Maybe what was Kawasaki was he was heavyweight, like heavyweight one. He was 175, wasn't he? 168. Kawasaki was 168, wasn't he? Yeah, so bro, it ain't nobody, not too many people down there. So I think
Jamel
for
has
sure
earned
he'd be
it.
the best. Yeah, I think, and when you look at his resume, just who he beat over the course of his career, from when he started to now. He beat guys at 154 early in his career that fight at 160, 168 now. You know what I mean? He was beating them guys early. Like everybody's still giving people credit for Gabe Rosado wins. He beat Gabe Rosado years ago. Years ago. He probably the dude who helped started that journeyman Gabe Rosado shit, to be real with you. People smooth didn't even know about it. He beat Demetrius Hopkins years ago. He beat Vinicius years ago. You know what I mean?
And you know what? I think it's disrespectful that they don't even list Jamel on pound for pound. Like,
right.
How are you going to have? Listen, even the Ring don't even list him as pound for pound, but yet he got the Ring magazine belt. He got the Ring belt. He's got 3 belts, all by knockout, and you don't have him on your pound for pound, but you have others who don't even deserve to be there because of propaganda or artificial anointment. So Jamel has proven his worth. He will fight anybody. He doesn't duck anybody, and that's the measure of a champion. So, I'm looking forward to this fight. I can't wait. I'm excited for it.
And I think I'm gonna do a T on this. I don't want to jump the gun, but I'm gonna go and put it in here anyway. So let's say that Jamel win this fight, or let's say Castano or whoever. Let's just say the winner of this fight. The winner of this fight fights Fundora next. Yes or no?
I think that's what they position. That's what PBC has lined it up for. To have Fedora to fight Fedora next. So yeah, that's going to go next.
Yeah,
I would still pick Jamel over Fundora.
Yeah, I pick Jamel over Fundora right now. That Lubin fight, showed me a lot, and I look at stuff, differently from a lot of people. So it showed me a lot, pros and cons. You know what I mean? I don't think Jamel even go be there to get hit with all those punches that Lubin got hit with, but all those punches that Lubin got hit with did not put Lubin to sleep. You know what I mean? Jamel has a better chin than Erickson Lubin, right? So that tells me that Fundora probably not gonna be able to put Jamel to sleep. Probably not gonna be able to hurt him. You know what I mean? Type deal. And I know Jamel not gonna be there, just standing there. It's gonna look completely different from a Erickson Lubin fight. I think Jamel go win a little easier than people think that he is. You know what I mean?
I think so too. If Lubin should have stayed on the inside. I don't know why you will fight a guy with that type of length. You know what I mean? Arm length. Why would you even try to fight him from the outside? He was having some success at points, but if listen, Fundora is tall, lanky, and skinny. That body was there to be hurt. Hit him on his hips, immobilize him, do whatever you got to do, but stay in them guts. Because once you stay in them guts, he's going to start bending his head down. It's just going to be an automatic reaction. So you talk about probably 5th or 6th round, he's going to be leaning forward. Then you're going to have that KO to the head. But you got to get him to constantly lean down because he's trying to protect his body. You know what I mean? And if you stay on the inside, he doesn't really have that. You know what I mean? He's got a slow recoil for those long ass arms.
Yeah.
So if you stay on the inside, I think I see Jamel knocking him out actually if they fight or when they fight.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a little easier than people think. Gerald, I say Gerald, Jamel just too skillful. I think he too skilled. Like he not gonna be able to locate Jamel as easy as he located Lubin. Jamel don't sit still, nearly that long. Uh, Even when he did, sit on the ropes against Castano, he ain't sit there, for too long, just longer than we would have liked. You know what I mean? Lubin, surprisingly, for as tall as he is, he's not that great of an outside fighter. You know what I mean? For as tall as he is, he's really not that great of an outside fighter. Don't even throw his jab a lot. You know what I mean? And like my guy Checkmate said, that recoil, when he coming back, he leave himself open a lot. We saw Erickson Lubin, put hands on him, be successful. Even in the first round, we saw Erickson Lubin be successful boxing him, you know what I mean? We saw Erickson Lubin drop him, so he can be dropped. Jermell Charlo is just as strong as Erickson Lubin. Now I think Erickson Lubin is strong as an ox, so I'm not even gonna say that he's stronger than Erickson Lubin. I think he's just as strong. You know what I mean? If if Erickson Lubin not stronger, but they about in the same strength range, right? You know what I mean? So with that being said, with Jermell Charlo being a better using his boxing ability better than Erickson Lubin, because Erickson Lubin can box. He just decided not to use it that day for whatever reason. But using his boxing ability more than Erickson Lubin, I don't think Fundora gonna be able to locate him. I think it's gonna be a boxing clinic. People forget that Jermell ain't just a knockout puncher. He was a boxer. He was a boxer before he was a puncher, and now he a boxer puncher. You know what I mean? So he came. Right. He grew into this. You know what I mean? That man gonna be A-okay. If it's one person I'm not worried about in the fight, it's Jermell Charlo. You know what I mean? Well, not worried about that guy.
If you really check Jermell Charlo body language, like I said, the emotions, he was just not himself in a fight. I knew that from the beginning. I'm like, hold up, he's just not fighting like Jermell Charlo. You know what I mean? We didn't really even see that mean streak. There's a couple of times he could have had him out there. But what he did, instead of cutting the ring off, he was chasing him. You know what I mean? And then when he was throwing, his punches was kind of wild at that point because Castaño was out of distance. And so, like, you're trying to go ahead and listen. I've seen a lot of times when the body was open. That body was open.
JD was good, Pimp.
He hurt when he hurt him against the rope. He hurt Castano at one time, and Castano leaned in, and he was trying to go for the headshots, and that body was right there. That liver shot was right there. So I really hope he invest in his body shots this time. You know what I mean? Because he can really get Castano out there.
Yeah, Castano, tough customer. He a tough customer. He said devil wasn't himself. Whole Mel, Big Mel shows up this time. Salute T. Yeah, it was good, Teddy. I think Mel gonna do a little better. I think he gonna be able to land a little better on him, land a little cleaner on him after having that experience of being in the ring with him. Once already. I think one of the problems in the first fight was he couldn't find good spots to land on Castano on. But when he did, land on him, we saw the effects. We saw what happened. He was hitting a lot of gloves and a lot of arms. You know what I mean? I think he needs to stick that jab, more to the stomach this time. Type deal on him. He wasn't throwing his hooks. He wasn't turning his hooks either like, he normally turn them. He was kind of just throwing them. Almost like he was throwing them, then evading instead of, following through, with his punches, type deal. So I think in this, I think that came with, just him not knowing, who he was fighting. He done had 12 rounds with him now. You know what I mean? So I think we'll see more. We'll see him laying a little more this time. Don't think he gonna knock him out though, because I don't think Brian Castano, a guy who just go get knocked out. I think he worst case scenario, Brian Castano know how to survive unless Jermell knock him out cold. That's very well. That could happen as well. He could knock him out cold, but I don't see Castano getting knocked out type deal. But I do see Jermell, putting a hurting on him. You know what I mean? I do see Jermell putting a hurting on him. It's gonna be
Go ahead.
Now I would say it's gonna be a little easier than it was the last time. You know what I mean? If the last
Yeah,
one was a draw, I got this one being like 8-4. Jamel.
I'm just taking into account. He heard him in 3 separate rounds, but he just didn't, push on that killer instinct. Think about this: when you think about somebody with a killer instinct, Roy Jones get you hurt, you're done, you're gone. Sugar Ray Leonard get you hurt, they smell blood, it's done, it's over. Killer instincts. Jamel Charlo, like I said, he's got knockout power. You know what I mean? He knows how to pour it on, and generally he does have that killer instinct. That was absent from that fight because even when he had him hurt, he was cautious about going there for the killer instinct. I don't know. He was cautious about catching catching something back, whatever the case may be. But if he really got that, honed in and that killer instinct honed in this time, I just think because based on, like I said, the fact that I saw Castano hurt several times, I just think he will be able to pull it in and place his punches the right way, and take advantage and get him out of there. Like I said, I have all the respect in the world, Castano. I have nothing bad to say about him. He's a tough cookie. I remember I even said that Isaac Cruz was going to be Tank's Castano. I was saying that Isaac Cruz, I said this could be Tank's first time going a distance because his style, the way he fights, is compact. He's got that shell, you know what I mean? And he's strong, you know what I mean? And so I felt the same way. That's what I'm saying. That was a compliment to Isaac Cruz, saying that he's going to be Tank's Castano. So with that, I had the respect for Castano, but I just think Jamal's talent is better. Castano got quick hands. He got a great chin, a lot of heart, but the best version of Charlo beats the best version of Castano.
Yeah, I think so too. That you can argue Charlo won by one because I had one round as a 10-8. I had Castano winning 7-5, which is one round. You know what I mean? So if you think he won by one round, that was the other. I could see that. Draw Charlo by one, draw Castano by one. Either way would have worked for me. You know what I mean?
I actually had Charlo winning by one round as well.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So Charlo beats Castano, but I don't know. It's 50-50. I had him losing the first one, but they said a draw. There's one round from how I had it, so I can't be like robbery. You know what I mean? There's one fucking round. You know what I mean? And if you think Charlo won, I can't say that you crazy because shit, I could see that too. You know what I mean? I just expected more out of him, so I gave him the loss. I'm gonna be real with you. You know what I mean? So I gave him it was too close for me. You know what I mean? So I feel like you lost. Anytime I feel like a fighter get a draw in his hometown, then y'all know what I'm getting at. But he got to come out this time and make it more decisive. You know what I mean? He got to make it more decisive type deal, and I think he is. He a dude who rises to the top. You know what I mean? He rises to the moment. That's what I'm looking for, not to the top. He rises to the moment. The moment ain't too big for this dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he even like in the Tony fight, when the rematch. First of all, I thought he was robbed the first fight. I thought he actually won, but they gave the rematch. I mean, they gave the win to Tony. But that rematch, Charlo just had that killer instinct, and I think what I mean. I just think he's skillful enough and athletic enough to make these adjustments. He's shown this his entire career that he's a dog and he can get it done. So I just think again we saw Castano hurt Charlo probably. He hit him with a good shot when he was against the rope and his eyes went up. I saw that pretty much one time. But other than that, like I said, Charlo hurt him at least three. I've seen him hurt in at least 3 separate rounds. So I'm dependent on him just having that confidence to know what he can do and put it all together.
He said Castano should have walked away with the belts that time. He said if he rose to the moments, he would have won that fight. I think he doesn't rise to the moments. He just a good. He rose to the moment. I think he beat Tony the first time. He knocked Tony out the second time. That's rise to the moment. He did good against Castano. You know what I mean? I'm talking about this time he rise to the moment, like in rematches. That's what I meant. He do better in the rematch. You know what I mean?
Right.
He rise to the moment. That it wasn't no moment the first time. He was too cool about it. He thought he was gonna walk over him. It wasn't no moment to rise to for him. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing to it. It wasn't no edge. He wasn't the underdog. You know, people weren't talking shit about him. He was the favorite. Everybody thought he was gonna win. They had it laid out for him. He was calm. You know what I mean? This time is actually something for him to look forward to. You know what I mean? It's something for him to look forward to. Type deal. It's like people actually saying he gonna lose. You know, some people feel like he lost the first fight. I mean, some people, you know, they don't feel like necessarily he not a big favorite this time. So, you know what I mean? It's more, it's more for him to, and I think he go rise to the top, like he did against Tony. Type deal. How you think he beat Tony the first time? But I'm not finna have this argument with you, bro. Not finna argue about that shit from 2 years ago no more. You know what I mean? At times I done had this argument. He done knocked Tony out, bro. I'm finna argue with you about another fight, bro. After he knocked his man ass out. He knocked him out the second time. He put the first fight to bed. Tony won the first fight. He won. He beat Jamel. He won. Tony the best pro boxer in boxing too. Y'all forget I say that part too, don't. Yeah, he won. He won fairly. It wasn't a robbery. I ain't say it was unfair. It was a close fight. I had him losing by 1 round.
Yeah, Tony has great boxing skills. He just that chin failed him.
We go argue about it. Second time got a premature stop. Congratulations, but one put to bed. And Tony had.
He said premature stoppage. Think about this. When he was on the ropes. When he was on the ropes before that stoppage, you know what I mean? I thought the fight was going to be called at that particular time. Because, right before, when he took him down right before the flurry for the stoppage, he had him against the ropes and he went down.
Round. I can't argue about 1 round in the fight, bro. Not doing it. Not doing it, bro.
You say premature stoppage. Like I said, my brother, Ghost, it could have been stopped in the flurry before.
Ghost is a Charlo hater. I know that's why I'm not giving him no energy on no Charlo subject. I don't give him no energy on no Charlo subject. He a Charlo hater.
Is he a Charlo hater or something?
Like Trapper Earl hater. Ghost a Charlo hater. I agree the ref will supposed to stop it a few moments sooner. He beat that man ass, man. He beat that man ass, bro. Tony was looking dead at him falling down on the ground.
Yeah.
Tony was looking at him right in his face falling down on the ground.
Yeah. Like I said, he put it this way, if there was an AJ fight, if it was an AJ fight, a Canelo fight, they would have stopped it on, like I said, when he was knocked down previously against the ropes and getting pummeled. They'd have called it after 3-4 punches. You know what I mean? Charlo was just unleashing on him, and you know what I mean, and slumped him. You know what I mean? Of course, he got up, but so that's the only reason why I didn't have a problem with the stoppage, because I felt like he was going to put him down again anyway.
And Tony didn't have I ain't have a problem with it because Tony didn't have a problem with it. Tony ain't never said to stop with premature. Now, one time did Tony say that? Tony said I could have had him. That's what Tony said. Tony knew he got stopped. Tony said I almost had him. I had that nigga. That's what Tony said. Tony ain't say, man, they stopped the fight early. Tony ain't say, man, they stopped the fight early. Tony said, I lost that motherfucker because it was my fault. I lost because it was my fault. I had him and I lost. That's what Tony said. Tony ain't say they stopped the fight early. Tony knew he was done. Not finna argue with no man about Tony being done. Sean Porter said he wasn't done. Tony never said he wasn't done. Tony never said he wasn't done.
I am looking forward to it. Like I said, man, it's I've been thinking about it. Actually, I was excited out a couple weeks ago. I was like, man, I just can't wait till this fight come. Think about this. I was expecting boxing to do what boxing does and somehow call them mandatories and come in between and cancel that undisputed. But for whatever reason, the stars aligned. We were able to get this great fight. It was a great fight the first time, and it's gonna, it's gonna be a great action-packed fight this time. Even more so, and it's going to be definitive. You got a lot of people was putting the loss on. Like I said, you felt Castaño won. You know what I mean? Other people thought he won as well. Well, this is how things are supposed to be settled. Best fight the best. You don't duck the best. You fight the best on some King of the Hill shit. You know what I mean? You don't do a Canelo and just duck yourself around the board to avoid the tough challenges. So I would win, lose or draw, I give Castano all the props. You know what I mean? Because again, he's not running, he's not backing down. You know what I mean? He's coming to win. So it's gonna be a great fight. What you think about I know it's a little bit off topic. I don't know if you had discussed it already, or this week or coming up with the case may be. What you think about the Tank Riley? I was because me. Let me tell you something. I do not like Riley. I do not like Riley. I don't see the talent in him. His personality. I think he's got a disgusting personality. So I'm not a fan of his at all. And when I was like, man, why are they feeding Tank this garbage? But let me tell you something. After that face off, man, it was just lit something in me. You know what I mean? So now this is entertainment. This is not a legacy fight. You know what I'm saying? This is nothing but this is a street fight in the ring, and I want to see Tank decapitate him. I want to see Riley out like Leo Santa Cruz. I want to see Riley carried off on a stretcher. So people, talk about Jake Paul fights and this and that. You show up for that. Well, guess what? This is one of them type of deals. It's just entertainment. Don't tell me who he fought, who he didn't fight. Tank don't make his schedules. Tank don't pick his fight. He beat whoever they put in front of him. So in that case, like I said, I'm excited to see Tank, you know what I mean, commit a homicide in that ring. Well, not literally, you know what I'm saying. But I just need Tank to destroy him. So I'm going to enjoy it just for that one reason. I want Tank to show off. I want him to be flashy. You remember how he used to do the shimmies and the hand behind the backs and all of that? I really want Tank to give a show. I want him to do some of that Roy Jones stuff that he used to do. You know what I mean? Entertain the crowd while you beating his ass. You know? So, give people something to talk about.
I don't know what you watching. This nigga doesn't box well at the moment, but this nigga who played it right, he's a dog. He has a lot of talent. Stop it. Riley talented. Stop it. Boo's talented, bro.
If you see no talent, Riley, I don't know what you're watching.
Riley's strong.
Riley's a wrestler. Riley got power. Riley swings a lot of wide punches. Riley's has horrible footwork. So I don't know what you mean about that he's got talent, because I don't see that talent. I see a guy who swings, punches hard, and roughs you up. Okay. And I have never been impressed by any of his fights. I've seen a couple of them. Like, I'm not impressed. His skill set is not what that's there. You know what I mean? He's reckless. He's a wrestler. You know what I mean? He's a rough and tumbler type of guy. You know what I mean? He's the type of guy that's going to hit you with low blows. Trust me, he's going to hit Tank with low blows. He might even bite him. You know what I'm saying? But no, I do not view that guy. If he was talented, my brother, I would actually be a supporter. I love talent. Okay? So the thing is, I don't see that in him. And the fact that he's actually listed as the number one ranked at WBA,
I don't see that.
Disgusting. No, I don't see talent in him. I see a guy who swings hard for the fences. This is what I see. I don't see a guy who's setting up, moving in and out. I see him rocking on his foot and back foot, rocking slowly, moving forward.
All that power, bro. If he was talented, he would have been able to knock niggas out, bro.
Yeah.
Like, now, he set people up for knockouts. He be swinging, knocking niggas ass out. Does he have God-given ability to be a great boxer if he tried? Yes, he does.
So you see talent in Riley,
bro? No,
really, sir.
No, bro.
Listen, no. I think it's a travesty that the WBA actually has him ranked number one. That's embarrassing for boxing. That's disrespectful. You know what I mean? You got Frank Martin. Frank Martin is a beast, and you know what I mean. And as far as talent wise, easily top 3.
What you looking for is potential, Ghost.
And when I look at talent, I look at Frank Martin. I've seen Frank Martin fight twice, and I see the talent there. I see that this guy has the ability to be a great fighter and have a Hall of Fame career. I don't see any of that in Riley. So when I compare Frank Martin or a guy who who's not on anybody's list or whatever the case may be, is a distinct difference in talent.
You looking at Roller in a good situation. If he gets somebody to put it, could he put it together? Yeah, you're looking at the potential what he could be, not what he is. Talent is what you are. How talented are you right now? Not your future or your potential talent. Talent is what you is today. And today, that boy is not talented at all. Did he have the potential to be talented, to be a great talent, a great boxing talent? I think you're looking at potential, bro. He's not talented, G.
Listen, not talented. He says talent. He says skill sets. Skills are different. You saying skills are different?
Different conversation. Yeah, Roller don't have no skills.
That's my point. No talent. I don't see.
It's not the same thing as talent, bro. Potential is what you could be. Talent is what you is.
Talent, you can see in its raw state. You can see someone with talent. Say, "Oh, that's talent." Whether you can see somebody who could sing, you can see they got the talent. They just haven't perfected it. Oh, one day that person will be good. They got the raw possibilities. They got the raw strokes. They just got to put it all together. Like I said, I think Isaac Cruz is more talented than Raleigh. I even said, even before the Tank fight, when I said this is going to be, this could be Tank Castaño, this could go the distance. I said on my post, I said Raleigh is a better fight and more talented than Raleigh and Ryan Garcia.
Cruz.
Yeah, that's what I said about Cruz, because he masters his style. His style, you know what I mean? He actually fights like a little Mike Tyson. He gets all his torque, and when he's following those wide punches, whatever the case may be. So his punch placements, hook, uppercut, you know what I'm saying? So he does his best and he maximizes his talent. Is he the best boxer? No. Does he make a lot of mistakes? Absolutely. But does he have talent? For sure. I think he's quick with his hands. He's got a tough chin.
Ghost, you call too many niggas bums. Ghost, you call too many niggas bums for you to think that Raleigh got talent, bro. For real.
Hey, Ghost, why don't you just jump on up here, brother? I need to hear you talk about this, man. We're reading your text. Express yourself.
Ghost hiding the motherfucker. Ghost told me Raleigh more just as talented as Devin Haney. Boy, you hiding the motherfucker.
I think he's just trying to create an argument. He doesn't believe that.
Boy, you hiding the
believe that at all.
Boy, you hiding the motherfucker right now, Ghost.
Tell me, Raleigh's
best these bones have talents. They have talents. They're not talented. We all talented at something. We all got talents. Don't mean we good at the motherfucker. You got B level, C level, D level, everything. A level. Raleigh is a motherfucking C level talent in boxing. He's a C level talent.
Hey, so listen, go tell me which Raleigh fight that you think he put on his best performance. Let me know, and I'll watch that fight.
He an athlete. He a great athlete, Ghost. Don't you mean? Raleigh's a great athlete. I think he could do other shit and be good at it.
Maybe he should go to MMA. Yeah, maybe he would.
And that's really why I think Holmes should be at MMA. Actually, that's why I think he born. I think he born to do that.
Maybe he would be good. Listen,
he already got a ground game. You know what I mean? So he ain't got to worry about niggas taking He land them punches on some of them niggas. But them niggas going to sleep. He land them punches in MMA gloves. Their ass going to bed.
At 135? Absolutely. So my thing is, there's a lot of MMA guys who are talented at MMA but suck at boxing. Okay? So my whole thing is, I think Raleigh's talents is better suited for MMA because he does not have the skill sets or the eye test, as far as the eye test will see, he doesn't appear talented. It's as far as a boxer, he does not have a bright future in boxing. Okay, so you got to recognize that talent early. You got to recognize it, and it has never been recognized. He's not going to beat. He's not going to beat any great fighters. The only way he'll beat any great fighters is a puncher's chance. That's it.
I think that boy, he'll do MMA. He got bricks in his hands. He got a little jiu-jitsu background. Riley beat some ass, bro. You can't take him down. He got retarded strength. You ain't gonna flip him. He gonna flip you before you flip him.
Look at this Ghost. Look at Ghost, man. You funny as hell. Listen, he said, checkmate, I'm not going to make you watch this nigga's fights. I don't hate you that much. But you just told me he had talent. So therefore, you can at least tell me, okay, this is the fight for the most part that displays his talent. So if you knew that, then you ain't gotta hate me to want me to watch the fight, because the fights I watched, I was not impressed. He's very, he's wide. His punches are wide. He, you know what I mean? He's punching with all his torque. I don't see fast hands. I don't see great defense. He's a prodder. He's got, as far as his foot movement, look like he got cement feet like Canelo. I just don't see it. I don't see the head movement. You know what I'm saying? He just
DP,
been fighting low-level opposition.
IDP at work. I need to run to the store real quick.
Okay, my brother.
I don't want to leave you up here.
No, go ahead, my brother. I just, I saw you. I saw you pop on. So let me go ahead and check my man out.
I bet for sure.
All right, my brother.
Shit, I want to leave him. That's what I was saying. No, I wasn't leaving. That's what I was saying. I'm trying to do I'm gonna do two, but I need to run. So I'm trying to go. All right, wait. Wait, man. But hey, what we was talking about? We were talking about Rod. We ain't talking about Rod. Is Just Do still out? Just Do still out. I'm gonna end this. I'm bring up a Rob in the bookie. I'm do because I've been on. I talked about my content Bivol. Talked about Bivol. Talked about in his 136. You talked about Bivol. Talked about goddamn Jamel. Yep. Y'all go over to Just Do Boxing. Y'all head over to Just Do Boxing. Peter Charles slide through this John Skinner Hardaway 17. This ain't the past. This ain't the future, but just the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Look.